guys, welcome to English 1302. I'm Azeneth.
I'm Francisco,
I'm Yuliann.
and we're going to be talking about deficit thinking and its impacts on students with imposter syndrome.
And we're going to be walking around in the UTRGV library and interviewing students on their experiences.
So we kinda forgot to mention what deficit thinking is. In education, deficit thinking is the practice of holding lower expectations for students with demographics that do not fit the traditional context of the school system.
Today we have Roxana here, and we're going to ask her a couple questions. The first question is, can you give us a little bit of your background?
Well, my name is Roxana. I'm Latina, or from Mexico. I'm a first gen coming to college, and yeah, I'm a psychology major.
Interesting. The second question is, did you ever have an encounter with an authority figure that sort of made you feel bad because of your background? Or like blamed you for your shortcomings because of your background again?
When I was younger, I think in elementary, even if I was pretty young, I did have a very strict teacher. To keep it more professional and not out anybody. It was a long time ago. My mom made sure that, that got fixed immediately, but I would have a hard time communicating properly because I was mute as a kid. So whenever I was trying to learn something, I would say it with an accent, and then my teacher would get upset and would be like, oh, it's because you're Mexican, oh, it's because your mom is not teaching you proper English, so you need to go to summer school. So yeah, I did have some issues, and then in middle school as well, but it wasn't as bad as how it was when I was a little kid in elementary.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Did that experience that you had with that teacher made you feel sort of like out of place, like you didn't belong, either whether that was elementary, high school, or college?
Yeah, I think as I grew up, I did have some troubles in middle school. I ended up having troubles communicating with people, so it made me have less friends or make me less social. And then in high school, it was also troublesome because then I started debating, do I really have to go to school? Do I have to go to class? Do I have to talk to people? And then it affected my time in school there. But as I came to college, it soon faded away, and I realized that I was meant to be a psychology major.
So I'm so glad that you were able to overcome that. Thank you for interviewing with us.
Thank you.
Here we have our second interviewee, Maryland, and our first question for you is, if you can give us a little bit of your background.
Hi, so my name is Marilyn. I am the third of four siblings, I guess you can say. I'm a twin. I'm Mexican, I guess you can say, Hispanic. My parents are from Guadalajara and one's from Reynosa, Mexico. I'm kind of right now studying to be a middle school teacher and hopefully graduate with my bachelor's in the next 2 years.
It's exciting. Did you ever have an experience before with a figure of authority where they sort of blamed you for your shortcomings based off the background that you just described to us?
Not really. I feel like growing up, I went to PSG district, so usually if you're a bilingual student and things like that, you would be in dual language, how do you call it, English learner classes. So it's not something I ever struggled with because the teachers always were understanding because obviously everybody in my class was English learners, so they were never why didn't you do your homework, or why are you struggling to learn English, because that's the whole point of my classes. They knew the background that I had. I knew that at home my first language was always Spanish, so most of my classes, the teachers were always understanding.
Did you come to college with sort of self-doubt, and did that experience that you just described, sort of support system, did it help you out, overcome that doubtfulness?
Yeah, because I was never judged by not English being my second language. Basically it never really affected me. Obviously it was a struggle learning English after my first language was Spanish, especially because it's a big difference, especially when it comes to curriculum at school. Some words are not the same, so it's totally different. But other than that, no, I wasn't really scared because of the language barrier or anything like that. I think it was pretty easy, especially because I always had that support and I was never really judged.
Thank you so much for your time.
So we kinda lost this in this part, but we were talking about our personal stories about deficit thinking impacting us.
So the first first instance in which these feelings of doubt first settled in my mind was towards the end of high school, when I was in the middle of my application process for universities. And in that process itself, I will admit that I did restrict the pool of universities I would have normally applied to. And in fact, the main reason that I am attending this institution is because it's for practical purposes. That is to say that my family couldn't normally afford paying for full tuition. So that is why I'm attending this.
As for me, a little bit of my background is I haven't taken a DNA test, but I believe I am 100% Mexican, so I'm Latino. I am first generation, and I do also come from a low-income household. I didn't really have a sort of like negative experience with a authority figure. I guess like the only one bad thing could be loss of opportunity based because of like the background I came, but not sort of because of a certain person like looking down on me. Other than that, I initially did come to college sort of like doubtful, but more so excited. I feel like I'm saying a lot, but what's it called? I think it's because of the high school that I attended and I came from. They helped me with a huge supportive system, sort of helping me. Saying a lot. But they're helping me overcome sort of like being low income by giving me a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to attend in the first place. But because of that, I was able to gain sort of
Stop thinking about
I
it.
was sort of able to gain confidence in myself. And then when I came here, all of my professors have recently been amazing. So hopefully I don't have to experience that and get a bad experience. But I'm also really glad that we did have a positive experience from our previous previous interviewee, where they said that they also came from a background like me, low income, first generation, with a certain ethnicity, being Hispanic, and then they had a support system because of their high school. That's really nice to hear, that it can also sort of go towards like a positive way for our topic. And then the negative way could be from our first interviewee, where they had a bad experience with, of course, is what we're trying to bring awareness to. And yeah.
So here are some ways we can overcome it. For me, like one example I could say is just having self-confidence. Like remember why you came to either college or whatever you're doing, like whatever long-term goal you have. Like remember why you're doing it. You know, there's always gonna be doubts. There's always gonna be negative like people in general, but you have to like overcome it and just be confident enough to do what you're doing.
Yeah, piggybacking off of her idea, sort of like connecting it to like mindset and having like discipline. So we have like, if the system itself isn't really working for you, it's trying not to like, I guess, demolish it, because that's going to be like very difficult in some cases. So you can try, it's going to be tough, but work around it. So sort of being disciplined, and if like a professor or something were to discourage you in sort of topic that you're learning, so you can set up like a study plan to cover the subject and stuff like that, and be like very strict, have your own sort of like agenda and schedules to help you sort of be organized and overcome it in that type of way.
And I guess my own piece of advice, which was very helpful for me, was to seek out like-minded people. So find your own community. And if I can speak on my own, and when I was fortunate enough to attend an RU program, which is a research experience for undergraduates. And this program, they made it a point in their selection process to seek out people from diverse backgrounds. So that was very helpful for me to be integrated into that group and create a healthy research community.
Yeah, we all agreed that having a support system also really does help, because it can also be very challenging to go against it by yourself. But if you have people like on your side to be there for you, it can help you raise confidence and then also help you build a study plan together so you can be more encouraged to do stuff.
That's it, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So, wait.
Oh, I'm Francisco,
My name is Yuliann.
and we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about deficit thinking, and with what is that?